And so, Mark, I want to stick with you and also then have Ross follow up. You are tied to the two major innovation ecosystems in the great state of Texas, as specifically it relates to the university system, right? Can you talk about how these university ecosystems are rising to the challenge to actually deal with national security problems? Start with you and then transition over to Ross, please.
I love what is going on at the university level. Number one, you're seeing more veterans truly understand and going into those spaces and really identifying the power of those universities. And they're activating that power. And then to that note, universities are a big voice. Taking that big voice up to get support is what you need. Now, the other end of the spectrum is the traditional university environments are also very bureaucratic. They are also very much have a lot of money, right? And so while they are the perfect environment to help transition, they also have difficulty transition. I mean, they hire commercialization officers. The University of Texas has hired, I think, a former venture capitalist in order to be able to take all of this intellectual property and transition it out. So as big and as bad as these universities, bad in a good way, these universities are, they have innovation at their fingertips that sometimes is very difficult for them to transition because of the human component. Right at the point where that innovation is being resourced and developed, that grit needs to then transition across into something that's deliverable.
Yeah, so the Bush Combat Development Complex, we started off at over a $200 million startup, right? And that was $50 million from the state of Texas, 80 from the border regions of Texas A&M University Systems, and then $65 million from Army Futures Command in the form of research. We built out all these different programs or facilities. We hired people. So what we really focus is on the applied research. So and then also the test and evaluation because of our great facilities. So if there are certain things that need to be developed, universities don't scale these things. We have to have a transition partner, and typically we have a transition partner in government and or commercial that's focused on solving national security problems. So we do that. We turn over. We work in the 6.2, 6.3, 6.4 area. We have prototype. We turn it over to the Space Force, NASA, DOE, Department of Defense, and we say, okay, here it is. This is what you asked for. They take it and they look for their own way to scale that, to either build it out or integrate that into a specific system. So from my perspective, we're focused really on delivering for government and their partners. And then we also we don't just work with the primes. They pass us off a lot of startups. I work with a lot of startups. Our first couple of customers are startups that work in our labs and they test, Brighton's here, young guy here, Fluxworks. They work on magnetic gears. So imagine these magnetic gears going into space, not requiring any fluids to help lubricate these things. That's less things we need to bring. But they're also on the battlefield. They're also in commercial, where we talk about dual use. Does anybody here like Bluebell ice cream? Right? So they help Bluebell ice cream in some of their gears that were having problems. Those are the types of organizations that we're looking for to help deliver, the next generation of equipment for Department of Defense, NASA, Department of Energy, and commercial, right? Those are the types of things we're looking for. And if we can find those, those kind of those nuggets, we like to pass those on to folks like AAL and DIU, AFWorks, and Naval X, Marine Corps Innovation Unit, whoever is looking for that kind of technology. Yeah.
If I could just add one thing, the universities are great because, again, they are at this cross section of kind of almost everything. But what I'm seeing also is I wouldn't call it a resurgence, but a surge from industrial experts. They have critical manufacturing, and the collective are coming online and understanding how can they help in the national security space. That's what's really intriguing to me, is the participation of that community and understanding these problem sets, and a whole of government or whole of society activation for these activities. It's fascinating.